Hey there, friends and foes. Good morning, Multiverse. This is Back to the Cereal Box, the pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturdays of our youth. I am your host, the prophet of pop culture, Johnny, and this morning I'm doing Johnny Quinn, the crossplay Harley Quinn cosplay, and this is Eli Cash, Danger Carney, and we are coming to you from the Gallatin Comic Con. And we are going to be talking about Marvel versus DC, and we are going to do that right after this from DL Memphis and the Murdering Crows.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean, Elvis Presley, and he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
All right, guys and gals, welcome back to the Cereal Box. That awesome theme song is provided courtesy of DL Memphis and the Murdering Crows. You can get their album, Four Bad Crows, anywhere you buy digital music. And look who is with me. It is the man, the myth, the legend, Eli Cash, also known as Danger Carney. And I am taking a huge risk here.
Are you?
Yeah, because I'm letting you be on camera.
Oh, okay, cool.
Eli is the most unpredictable person on the planet. Now, Eli, we're doing a live presentation here at Gallatin Comic Con, and you can see the throng of the surge of people in the audience. And I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
What is the difference between Marvel and DC? Do you know?
I gotta be honest, Marvel was pretty hot when it comes to the movie scene. DC left a lot to be desired.
Okay, so you relate Marvel and DC to the movies.
Right.
First.
Right.
See, I come from a comic book background. I'm an avid comic book fan. I've been reading comics since I was 8 years old, maybe younger. And, Avengers comic books, Star Wars movies, and Avengers comic books made me who I am today. Yeah. And comics are a big, big part of my youth and the fun of the Saturdays of my youth. So when I think of Marvel and DC, the first thing I think about is comics. But let's talk about the movies for just a minute. Sure. So you think the Marvel movies are, pretty okay. They're really good, high quality, yes?
Yeah.
For the most part. And DC, you're kind of like, maybe not so much?
It's a hit or miss with DC, to be honest,
Okay. Okay, so out of those properties, out of the Marvel movies, what is your favorite?
Batman, obviously.
No, that's DC. Marvel movies.
Marvel, my bad.
That's okay. See, this is why we're doing this. A lot of people, they confuse them.
Yeah, also I'm not a morning person, obviously, but yeah. If I gotta pick a favorite, it would probably be Spider-Man starring Tobey Maguire.
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Okay, That's a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah.
I think Tobey Maguire was a perfect translation of the Steve Ditko Spider-Man. And those of you who are comic book fans, you know what I'm talking about. I think I like what Tom Holland has brought to the character of Peter Parker in particular. And he's more of a Roger Stern, John Romita Jr. Spider-Man, and I really love that. Out of the DC characters, who's your favorite?
Well, I already brought it up, Batman.
Batman,
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where most people start with DC versus Marvel, Marvel versus DC. It's Spider-Man versus Batman. Yeah. Those are the two most popular franchises between the two companies, despite Marvel having huge success with the Avengers films. Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and then to a lesser degree, Hulk and Black Widow, and the Disney Plus show Hawkeye. So those are the core 6 original Avengers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then, after Batman, people know DC for Wonder Woman, Superman, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, The Flash, that Aquaman. That's DC. Now, when I was growing up, there was a very clear distinction between Marvel and DC. A very clear distinction between the characters. Marvel characters, DC characters tended to be these almost godlike beings above the rest of the world. They represented kind of the utopian ideal in society, this shining city on the hill kind of concept. And Marvel, they were very grounded characters. They had real world problems. They had real world things going on in their lives. Peter Parker struggled to pay his bills and had girl problems. Iron Man was an alcoholic. Steve Rogers, Captain America, was a man out of time and didn't understand contemporary society, and he sometimes struggled with his patriotism and the ability to find balance between being a super soldier and being a citizen. When I was a kid, that differential, the Marvel characters being like real life characters, really drew me to them first. And I really related to them, and I felt like I was them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what about you in comic book form? Are you drawn more to the utopian ideal or the grounded real world?
That's always a give or take for me, really. As far as takes on Batman goes, there's I don't really view Batman himself as utopian. He has trust issues when it comes to his fellow compatriots and everything. He does tend to go a little, overboard with protecting his city. Sometimes a little more. How should I put this? Fascist, just not in a four-letter word type of thing.
Yeah. He's a little bit extreme.
Yeah, extreme, exactly.
Yeah, and Batman is actually the one DC character who would fit into the Marvel universe really well.
Yes.
But so the idea that I have, and a lot of other creators and writers and fans have had the same opinion, is that if the DC characters, in particular the Justice League, represent the godlike characters. We're talking about the Olympian gods, the Greek gods, Olympus. So we're talking about Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and Hera, and that is Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Hades is Batman.
Right.
He is the dark underworld god of the pantheon.
It makes sense because Hades in the pantheon literally got the short straw. He was always kind of put down, and he's having really big trust issues with Zeus and the other gods and stuff.
Yep.
And it seems like the only person, it's like the only people he talks with or associates with are those within his realm alone. You got the Netherworld, the Batcave. You got I guess Persephone. Persephone is interesting. I guess who do we compare to with Persephone? Batgirl?
Persephone?
Yeah, Persephone, yeah.
Probably Batgirl.
Yeah.
Because Persephone, she was stolen by Hades and taken to the underworld, and then Orpheus tried to free her on behalf of her mother Demeter, and he failed, and the compromise was that Persephone would stay 6 months in Hades, 6 months in Olympus, and have that double life, that kind of double existence, and that is very much a Barbara Gordon kind of thing.
And if you think about, so is Dick Grayson and the other Robins. It's just like they were, they were kind of like, say, robbed of their innocence and stuff.
You could compare Robin a lot to
Hermes.
No,
Hermes is Flash.
Why can I not remember Daedalus and this is going to drive me crazy. Flew too close to the sun. Icarus. Oh my gosh, that is
fair,
I had a senior brain cramp right there, ladies and
Dick
gentlemen.
Grayson was a trapeze artist, and one thing led to another. He pretty much fell from grace almost literally.
Right. So you've got that kind of ideal with the DC characters in comics, but in the movies, it's very opposite. In the movies, thanks to Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder, the DC universe tends to be very dark and very gritty and very violent, and the Marvel universe, by contrast, is very bright, shiny, comedic at times. You've got the brighter colors and the brighter color palettes that are normally associated with DC Comics in the print form. Because think about those DC characters. Aquaman dresses in orange. Superman is red and blue. You got the Red Tornado, the Green Lantern, the Flash.
You got Wonder Woman dressed up as pretty much red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue, the American flag. Yeah. Their color palette at DC Comics is very, very bright, very vibrant, and over in the comics at Marvel, it's more muted. But the opposite is true of the films.
Yes.
So is there a good or bad or a better or best? I don't know. I mean, I am a Marvel Comics shell. I love Marvel Comics, and as an extension, I love Marvel movies and Marvel TV shows. I don't like every single one. I'm not a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. I got to be honest with you. And I know people watching right now just went, oh, what? That's the best. See, not to me. Not to me. Conversely, I was a huge fan of Thor: Love and Thunder. I loved the lightheartedness of that movie. When I see a movie, Eli, I don't want to be sucked into this abyss of darkness and grittiness and violence. I want a fun escape. And that's kind of what this show is about, right? The fun of Saturday morning. So that's what I want. And when some people say, well, the Marvel movies have become very cartoonish, I'm like, good. That's what I want. That's what I want.
For me, it's a little bit of both, really. It's just like, you got the sun, the bright, colorful sun, but it also produces a lot of shadows and everything. So, it's sometimes you have to be a little realistic and stuff.
Well, and we get that from the Marvel shows like Loki. This season has been very dark.
Loki, Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, everything.
Which I love Werewolf by Night. Yeah. I was not a fan of the colorized version, though. I gotta be honest with you.
The black and white, it fits well with the horror theme.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. We I'm not a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. I was not a fan of season 2 of Loki. I just was not. And hey, look who has arrived. She is in her full Poison Ivy cosplay. And so, Eli, no offense to you, but we've only got 2 chairs, and I'm going to kick you out.
All right, cool.
Because
works for me, man.
My co-host for Back of the Cereal Box, thank you, Eli.
No problem.
Everyone give Eli a big round of applause.
Oh, yeah.
Check this out. My regular co-host, Aubrey, is here, and look at this amazing Poison Ivy that she is doing for Gallatin Comic Con. Look at this.
I'm getting arrested just by looking at it.
Oh, that's funny and a little bit inappropriate. Anyway, we would expect nothing less from you. And again, you're like 2 feet lower than me now. Can you speak?
I can.
Okay.
Just excited.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you.
This is fantastic. So we're you've been getting ready, taking the time, and it is totally worth it to see you in this. And I'm not going to keep you long because I know you want to go mingle with the people and be seen and see them. But we've been talking about Marvel versus DC. Do you know the difference between Marvel Comics and DC Comics?
I do. There's a quite significant difference when it comes to plant life also. And I wanted to speak on that specifically, obviously.
Okay, wait, so
I'm dressed for it.
Yeah, so share.
Poison Ivy has many, many renditions dating back to the early Batman when it was purely almost a detective series still. Her first rendition was one of the most scantily clad at that point. But she did come out blazing with some serious powers ranging from almost telekinesis-like powers, plant control, and downright to the fact that she was a scientist before her transformation. She was able to get the certificate saying that she was a doctor, that she was a scientist, but her curiosity reached far beyond that. And so once she was able to transform, she kind of embraced her evil side a little bit. So she's both a villain and an anti-hero at times.
She's an activist for plant life.
She is very much an activist for plant life. But Marvel usually has not tried maybe as hard to find a Poison Ivy-like character, but I found out recently that Marvel has come out in a comic, and you'll have to look for that. There is a doctor. She's a female doctor also. She can control plants. Marvel has just come out with it not that long ago in one of their comic series.
Well,
and she's a secondary character.
I don't know who that character is off the top of my head, but so Marvel has had actually more of a history with plant-based characters than DC has.
Oh, that's true.
So, DC has Poison Ivy, Swamp Thing. DC or Marvel has an entire race of plant people called the Kotati. Or Kotatai. And Mantis, you guys know the movie version of Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, but in the comics, the Avenger Mantis, she marries a plant kind of a plant clone of the Swordsman, the Avenger the Swordsman, and they go off. She's the Celestial Madonna, and they go off and they repopulate this entire race of plant people. And there was at one point where there was a plant clone of Mantis, and so they kind of go back and forth. And then Groot is from an entire race of plant, sentient plant people. And we got baby Groot here. And in the recent Empire miniseries, Empire, the Kotate try to take over the Earth. And they plant this, they detonate a plant bomb to terraform the Earth to be like their home planet. And it's pretty amazing. And that was created by Steve Englehart back in the 60s. And it's been a recurring theme in the comics throughout the last several decades. Dun dun dun! The more you know. And
Very true.
Your friend did this? Who did this? This
Yes,
is Baby Groot.
Baby Groot is a crocheted, a crafter made this for me. My friend Rissaru Custom Creations. So he's a little baby one, so that I can fit him in my bag with my costume.
Awesome.
So
awesome. Well, so just real quick, and then I'll let you go, and we'll let our audience go. This is a super short episode. Thank you for watching. in your opinion, Marvel versus DC, which is the better?
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be that person. I can't choose. I gotta straddle the fence. I love She-Hulk. I love Poison Ivy. I love the X-Men. I'm a hardcore Boy Scout fan. When I say Boy Scout, we all know who we're referring to. And I'm just saying, Batman. If you don't like Batman, can we be friends? Haven't always not seen eye to eye. So for me, I'm a fence straddler. I've always been, ever since I was a kid, Marvel and DC all the way. Ever since the beginning, kind of leached off each other anyway. And you know what? I feel like we're just one big happy family.
And that could be true because apparently HBO Discovery is trying to sell Warner Brothers again.
Ooh.
Yeah. Warner Brothers is going up for sale. I know Disney wants that property. I know they do. Yeah. And I would not be opposed to that. I'm a Marvel shill. I'm a Disney shill. So, having a Superman, Batman team up with Iron Man and Captain America, or Captain Marvel and She-Hulk, not a problem to me. Anyway, I vote hands down on the side of Marvel Comics and Marvel movies. That's tonight I'm going to go see the Marvels. I can't wait. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Marvel versus DC, what is your favorite? Where do you fall in this line? And justify your reason. Before you came in, I laid out the core differences between the franchises, and whatever you guys think, we want to know. So post your comments below why you are a Marvel fan or a DC fan. And you know what? I know what a lot of people are thinking too. Johnny, you're a Marvel fan. Why are you doing a DC character? Did you even notice I was doing Harley Quinn?
I did.
Yeah. So, and by the way, my assistants, Ella Kazam and Deborah Kadabra, they're going to be here later. They're also doing Harley Quinn. So we're going to be doing some performing here.
I'm going to have to keep this on so I can get a picture with a bunch of Harleys.
Yeah, as a trio of Harleys. So Johnny Quinn Beyond.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this edition of Back of the Cereal Box, a short, quick episode live from Gallatin Comic Con. Thank you to everyone in the audience for joining us for this discussion. And until the next time, love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the back of the cereal box. Bye.